Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome to episode 6 of The Button List. Hi Kenneth, with Allison and Heather. Heather, are you ready to be on stream?
Sure.
Okay.
I have no drink at all, but I am ready.
Well, you can depart after you say hi to the people, then you can go get a drink. So there's me and Heather. So welcome back to The Button List, episode 6, which I have named, what happened?
I turned on my light.
Oh, good. Which I have named Tequila Mockingbird.
I love it.
Because Kenneth has suggested our podcast topic for tonight, which is memorable drunken episodes. And we are just going to leave you all to speculate as to the graphic details of all the drunken episodes we can't remember. But Heather, you should go get a drink first.
I should.
Yes.
Speaking of drunken episodes,
tonight might be one of them. Oh, that's what I could have called it. Drunken episodes. Dang it.
I thought that's what we were calling it, but I like Tequila Mockingbird.
I know. I just felt the need for wordplay, but now I feel like I missed the boat with drunken episodes.
The stream is always a drink.
It's true. What if the stream is named wordplay though? Are we just consistently like drinking? Hi, Silvern. There's like an every 30 seconds drink rule? No, because then Allison and Heather will be spending the night on the floor at the Beading Dreams, and that is not, I've done it multiple times, but it's not comfortable.
I'm finishing the tonic.
Okay. I just need to bring back the tonic syrup, and since we have the shiny water thing.
Yeah.
I also did, Dennis was desperately in need, so. So anyway, how's everybody doing? We had a fun tutorial. We did our charm holder necklace. I'm wearing the one that I made in class. It's been a wild and woolly time here at Beading Dreams. My mom's condo flooded, so that's been taking up a lot of my life lately. Also, I redid my hairs, so they're like all non-broody and stuff. And we had lots of fun people in today here at the Beading Dreams. We had some of our favorite people here. We did all at once. It was kind of like a party. It actually pretty much was a party.
And
there even wound up being,
I don't know why I said ow.
Oh, and there even wound up being snacks because I was starving. So I pulled out my hastily put together lunch snacks, and then they became snacks for everybody.
It's awesome. Thank you.
But apparently I make a really decent honey mustard, so,
Definitely.
There you go.
I didn't technically look at.
Do you want the container back?
I can't fit that on my face enough.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I bet the stream would like to watch you try.
I had my tongue clipped when I was little.
What?
I did, actually.
With like, what,
Not
from like
end,
underneath? No, I was going to say that should that should give you more tongue mobility, Heather, not less. That's not an excuse That's not an excuse not to lick the. You are a human. You can use tools.
I can, as long as they're pretzels.
There are plenty of pretzels.
I'm good. I'm okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You want me to stop this, right? Because you don't want me to make you lick the honey mustard in front of the stream.
Okay.
Okay. So tonight's theme is Tequila Mockingbird, aka memorable drunken episodes or drunken episodes we wish we could forget. I have a lot of both. My 20s were very interesting. Heather definitely also has some.
Do one or two.
Yeah. So who wants to start?
You do. You want to start.
I do?
Yes, you do. I voted.
Dang it. Why is our audio not synced? Why? We don't have sound. We don't have fucking sound. Do we have anything? Are people still out there?
Hello, humans?
I don't know. Oh my gosh. But we definitely don't have sound because that's not moving. Ugh. Oh! There! Sound's back! Kenneth just got to hear me doing all of the cursing. So that's super exciting.
Never happened before.
Yeah, right? It's after 7:30, so that's not a drink unless you want it to be.
Always want it to be.
But, wow. Sorry, everybody. That was a lot of F-bombs that I dropped. right there. Okay, so Heather has decreed that I am starting. And I'm dropping my stream deck. Okay, so, well, welcome back, Mr. Rhubarb. Okay, you missed all of the F-bombs, but I promise there are probably more F-bombs yet to come. Okay, so, okay, I feel like the first one is one that Heather and I could actually banter back and forth with. Okay, so I'm going to start with a story from college, and this one's not actually about me. It is the only one that's not about me, but it is pretty hilarious. So, in college, I'm a July baby, so that means that I didn't turn 21 until, what would that be, the summer before my senior year? Because I was 18 my freshman year, 19 my sophomore year, 20 my junior. So I was 21 my senior year of college. So I was underage for the majority of my college experience. However, those of you who have lived in dorms and been to college know that this doesn't really always make it difficult for you to get alcohol just because you can't legally buy it yourself. So, we had some older friends who would get us booze, and that's another, okay, there's a really bad one from that period of time about me and why I couldn't drink screwdrivers until well into my 30s. But anyway, this particular story is not about me. So my boyfriend, and I had the same boyfriend all through college, so his roommate for his freshman and sophomore year was a hilarious young man named Brandon who was from New Orleans. So right there you've got like the whole New Orleans like mystique and craziness going on there, and so Brandon was no stranger to being drunk. At 18, he was no stranger to being drunk, because we found out later, apparently this is something that he had done before, multiple times. So we had a night, and I was not actually present for this, but I heard about it. So we had a night where we had all been imbibing, and I staggered back to my dorm room and passed out in my bed and awoke in the morning to hear the story of what had transpired in my boyfriend's dorm room with him and his roommate. And apparently, what happened to Brandon when he got blackout drunk is he had a tendency to think everything was a toilet. So my boyfriend woke up to the sound and sight of his roommate buck-ass naked peeing on the dresser because he thought it was a toilet because he was blackout drunk.
Oh no.
Yes. Yep.
Oh no.
Oh yes. Yeah. So
my.
yeah, peeing on the dresser. And so then, oh, hi Prince, welcome back. That's okay. You've only missed this story about my college boyfriend's roommate peeing on the dresser. You haven't missed anything else. Trust me, it's gonna get better.
Yes.
So my boyfriend was he came from a much more conservative upbringing, so he didn't really have experience with drunk people before college. And again, mind you, we're all like 18 at this point. Like, none of us are of legal drinking age. So he didn't really know what to do with a naked, drunken roommate peeing on the dresser.
I mean, I also.
I mean, I do feel like I'm better equipped for that situation now in my life than I was at 18.
Yes.
So
I don't know what to do with much at 18.
So, well, yeah, I definitely did not. And I had no spine at 18 to be like, bitch, wake up and go to the restroom. So I'm pretty...
Not this one, the other one.
The other one, the real one, the one that flushes, not the one that's a school-issued piece of furniture. By the way.
No.
Yeah, no, because, yeah, it was part of the dorm furniture. It wasn't even his. It was, like...
Yes, burn to death.
I'm pretty sure that I actually have an adjunct story about the two of them in their room, which I think I've told before, but I'm gonna tail end this. I'm gonna chase this story with that story. That story doesn't involve booze; it just involves college boys being idiots. But so anyway, basically, what my boyfriend did was just grabbed all of the towels he had and just kind of like threw them at the dresser, so that Brandon was peeing on washable things instead of furniture.
I mean, that's a solid plan.
And after Brandon was done doing his business, he just stumbled back to bed and passed the F out.
Because he was done.
He was, yeah. And, Julie, well, all you've missed is the story of my college roommate's reverse that. My college boyfriend's roommate peeing on the dresser while he was blackout drunk. Trust me, there are more better stories to come. But then here's the thing, because my college boyfriend, and this kind of goes back to the fact that I didn't really have a spine when I was 18. It took a while for the spine to develop in me. So this was...
Mine's still working on it.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like the growing of the pee pads for roommates series or diapers. But seriously, I feel like the growing of a spine, especially as a woman, it's something that continues for your entire life.
Yes. Yeah. Like a tree trunk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this
Thanks, Julie.
Right. So this was the same roommate who same boyfriend who after we've been dating for like 2 or 3 weeks, he was like, "So when we're married, are you going to make me homemade biscuits and oatmeal every morning like my mother does?" And my response was, "Can't you make your own oatmeal?" But my response nowadays would have been more like, "The fuck I will." Like, you know how to use a stove. You want oatmeal? Make your own damn oatmeal. But anyway, so this is all kind of circling back to the next day. After telling me the story, he's like, "Will you take all of these towels and sheets and take them down to the laundry?" And I'm like, blink, 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 blink.
No.
I'm like,
no, I will not.
I think Brandon should take them down to the laundry since he's the one who peed on them. So yeah, that's, yeah.
Yes, that is.
Ooh, I also can tell the story of the first time I was ever drunk, which is pretty funny.
Ooh, okay.
But I do want to, like I said, I was going to chase this with another story about how my college boyfriend and his roommate were idiots.
Yes, please.
There's so many examples of this.
That was not an example of.
Well, okay, that was what this one is tangential because it does not involve alcohol. But they had a fridge in their room. They had a dorm fridge. Most of us did. Some of us kept the science experiments to, I'm not going to say a minimum, but a middle. Their fridge got so nasty and stinky and full of crap that it wouldn't close anymore. So the smell was not contained. So rather than clean out said fridge, they just duct taped it shut until the end of the semester. And then they just dragged it out to the quad and left it there. But yeah, just duct tape the fridge shut.
No.
This is also okay, and I'm gonna chase that story with one more.
Oh my. Are we all gonna survive this?
Well, I mean, I did, and I was the one exposed
That's
to
true.
all the germs.
I feel like I can smell it though.
But have you heard the banana story?
I don't know.
Okay, so then we're gonna fast forward 2 years. My boyfriend had a different roommate, and his roommate was, so Brandon and my boyfriend were both not tidy individuals, and I'm not a tidy individual either, so I'm not throwing stones here. But then we fast forward to a couple years later where he had a different roommate, Eric, and Eric was very tidy. So there was literally this line down the middle of the dorm room where it was like clear stuff everywhere. So
like the line in Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I decide, for whatever reason, I don't know if my parents were coming to visit or whatever, but I'm like, I'm going to straighten up just inside of the dorm room. So I start going through the layers, because there were strata of mess. And so I pick up a big bunch of papers and I put them to the side, and I see what looks like part of a bicycle tire. And I'm like, Justin doesn't have a bike. Why is there part of a bicycle tire in among the mess? And I pick it up and I realize that it's a banana.
Mm-hmm.
It's a banana that was probably older than some people's pets.
Yeah.
So that was when I was like, nope. I am not cleaning your room anymore.
Nope. All done.
So that is part of my college experience. I do have more college experience stories, but I am now going to cede the floor to Heather for some memorable Drunken Heather episodes.
So, my most memorable drunken episode I have told already, but
I don't think that Mr. Rhubarb has heard it.
Oh.
And I don't know if Prince has heard it. Because this was also was it on our best worst date?
It was on our best worst
yes.
date, yeah.
Okay, no, I think you should tell this again.
Okay. Should it be now, or should it be the finale?
It can be the grand finale.
Okay, I'm going to save that one, because I've got some others that are less intense. So, let's see. This did not actually happen to me. I was there, but it wasn't me. I used to
it wasn't.
It was not. It was Stephen. So, I was at a dance event with a lot of my friends, and for those of you who are not aware, I used to trade in moonshine.
Heather was a bootlegger.
I was a bootlegger. So I would take as much moonshine as I could fit into my bags, my checked bags, to dance events and sell it. And then I would make some, and my provider would make some. And I was in Texas at an event in Austin before I lived in Texas. And I was at my friend Keith and Summer's house. And so this was several of my friends. It was their first time having the moonshine, so they didn't know how hard it...
I was going to say, it doesn't come with an ABV on the label, because there is no label.
There's no label. It came in a Camelback bottle, because that's what I could pack without worrying about it breaking on the way. So I could just buy them at Target, and that's included in the price. And no, it was real tasty. That was the problem.
No, I had some of Heather's moonshine back in her bootlegging days. It was all very tasty.
So
the apple pie was real good.
The apple pie, absolutely.
Was real good.
The apple pie was ridiculous, and there was like plum and blueberry and all these other fruits. The apple pie
was my favorite.
Definitely the best. And yes, moonshine,
no joke.
So there are a few different stories about the moonshine at this particular event, but I think the one that is the most succinct and doesn't involve bodily fluids of terrible natures.
Okay then.
Not on me. Upcycle propelled that.
Do you make moonshine, Julie? I did not know this about you. I'm learning so many things, right?
So, we had come back from a late night dance, and we were skipping because most of us who were there were either instructors for the event or DJs for the event or both, and we were the headliners, so we didn't have to work the wee hours in the morning. So, so we were back.
Yeah, we're definitely coming to visit.
Yes, we were back at the house, and I think some of us were getting a snack, and I hear Stephen.
Oh, that's another good
I
story.
hear Stephen on the stairs, and Stephen goes, "What's that sound?" And everyone stops
I have another good story that's not about me too.
and listens for the sound. And we're all looking at
Was it the
Stephen.
sound of silence?
Stephen's like, "Oh, it's me." So, what's that sound? It's me. It was the tamest thing that I can tell you about moonshine. So,
Okay, so I've got a funny story that's not about me. I actually, when my dad and my stepmom were in town, we had dinner with some dear friends of ours from Fair, who have had a lot of colorful experiences, but they were telling a story of basically one night when everyone got completely blitzed and staggered off to, this is a short story, staggered off to their respective homes, which when you're on a fair site, and you work there, you have a shop there, usually you have, living space above the shop, or you're in an RV at least for the weekend, or a tent, like you're staying on site. So no one was driving. Everyone was staggering safely-ish to their residences. So
you're very loud.
I'm not that loud though. But so apparently one of the persons who was involved in this drunken episode staggered almost all the way home and passed out on the steps leading up to their abode, right in front of the door. And apparently this was a fairly large man. So then the sky opens up and it rains cats and dogs. So come morning time, this person's partner, girlfriend, wife, I'm not actually sure, but the person with whom he was sharing living space, who was pissed AF that her man did not come home last night, goes to open the door, and the door goes thunk. She's like, "What?" Dunk,
oh no.
Dunk, dunk, dunk. And all of a sudden she hears a voice that says, "Stop doing that." Because he had passed out in front of the door, got poured upon, did not wake up until she started hitting him with the door.
Oh my.
So yes, that's another not about me. Trust me, we're gonna get into some questionable decisions that I have made in my life, but yeah, this one's not me. Well, because it's a fair story, Julie, that's why it sounds familiar. Let's see. Do you want? I have so many, Heather. I have lots.
Okay, I feel
okay.
Alternate.
Your turn. Go.
You could do 2 episodes, probably.
We could probably do more than 2 episodes.
Okay, well,
all right, Heather, you go.
1 episode, and then.
By the way, everyone, hang around because you're going to be asked to vote at the end of this episode.
Yes.
As to which story was the best. So please make sure you're excuse you.
What? Nothing.
I see you trying to whip votes over there.
I'm an angel.
Oh.
I'm an angel straight from heaven.
Oh, good Lord.
No, I know.
I don't think
Really
it's a
not.
Bristol story, Julie. I think it's a TRF story, but I have a feeling that this might also be one of those kind of common universal experiences for fair that happens to a lot of people. All right, Heather, go.
Okay, so this is a really old-timey story. So this is before I ever wanted to drink anything. So I was at the beach for a week with my bestie in high school, we were 16, and her parents had more money than my parents did. So we went to a restaurant because their dad was a restaurateur, and he knew half of the people who owned restaurants in Myrtle Beach. So we went to one of those restaurants. And so I was used to getting water with a meal, Or if we were being really fancy, maybe a soft drink. But Jess was allowed to order fancy things if she wanted, so she ordered a virgin daiquiri and encouraged me
I remember this story.
to order a virgin daiquiri.
Yeah.
So we both ordered our giant virgin strawberry daiquiris, and it was so good, but it was warm going down. And I was like, I mean, I'd never experienced a virgin daiquiri before, so I was like, I don't know. I feel like maybe this isn't a virgin daiquiri. And Jessica's she's having hers. She's like, oh, it's delicious. It's so good. And then she finished hers, and then she also finished mine. And then the waitress came back to get our payment for the check, and she handed the bill to Jessica's dad, and he said, these were virgin daiquiris. She was like, no, they weren't. He's like, did you just serve 2 16-year-olds daiquiris? We're like, oh.
No wonder it was so warm.
It was definitely warm going down. I knew it all along. So
my shoes are.
Oh no. Okay. Oh no. Oh no. They can smile at me.
Yeah, I don't like my.
Shoes should not be able to talk.
Shoes should not be able to talk, especially my Tory Burch shoes.
Seriously, you gotta take those back.
Well, these I got from resale, but the other ones that I took back, the espadrilles that started to smile after like 4 months, they were like, we can't do anything about that. You should take them to Dino's.
What?
Yeah. I was like, $300 for a pair of shoes?
Never again. No.
Never again. Which, by the way, is only because my mother insisted on buying me a $300 pair of shoes for my birthday. Normally, I would never spend $300 on a pair of shoes unless they were like gold-plated, encrusted in diamonds, or were going to like make me fly.
I want shoes. Oh, okay. I want 7 League boots, actually.
That'd be amazing.
So anyway, here we are, and Jess is definitely tipsy. And so I got to spend the rest of the night with a very tipsy 16-year-old who could not stop giggling. We had daiquiris. She thought we were old enough. Then I got home, and I confessed to my mom. I don't know why. And she got mad at me.
Oh, no. That's no...
And I was like, but it wasn't by choice, and I stopped. I mean, I definitely helped in the downfall of another minor, but I stopped. Okay, carry on.
Okay, so I think this is a good lead into the first time I ever got drunk, which was absolutely by my... Well, okay, it was not necessarily by my own design because I was only like 8 or 9 at the time, so I didn't really understand what being drunk was like. So my mom was hosting a New Year's Eve party, and I had a little red plastic champagne glass. And she said, it's New Year's Eve, we're at home, you can have half a glass of champagne. So I went around to every guest at the party and said, Mom said I could have half a glass of champagne. Can you get some for me? And so eventually I sat down on the couch, and then New Year's happened, and then I tried to get up and I couldn't stand.
Oh my.
Because I'd probably, and okay, the pandemic has not been kind to my waistline, but when I was 8 or 9, I weighed like, what, 60 pounds? Maybe?
Yeah.
Like, so, and I had probably had, and I mean,
probably more like 50.
Yeah, and I mean, and it was a regular sized, I mean, it was made of red plastic, but it was a regular sized champagne flute. So, with all of the drinks that I had conned from all of my mother's friends,
oh my God,
I probably had at least 3 to 4 flutes of champagne.
Wow.
And yeah, and then I discovered when you've had too much champagne, you can't stand up. And I'm still grateful to this day that I didn't like vomit all over myself, because a lot of my later life stories involve vomit. Of course, a lot of them also involve like tequila. So yeah, but that was the first time I ever got drunk.
Your poor Nana.
Was that oh and then also I'm gonna chase that one with the first drink I ever had in my life, which was by accident. Because
it's fine.
Yeah, because my dad and I would always go out to brunch at TGI Fridays in Milwaukee, and he would get a rum and Coke, and I would get a Diet Coke. Or I think he would get a rum and Diet Coke. And one day I was reaching for my drink and I got them confused. And I took a big old swig of his rum, and it was always Myers Dark and Diet.
Yum.
And at that point in my life, and this was prior to the New Year's incident, so I was maybe only like 7 or 8. And I was like, oh my God, that tastes terrible. Obviously, I've learned better since then.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
All right, Heather, your turn. But that was the first drink I ever had in my life.
So,
I mean, I guess it's better than a traffic cone on your head.
I want to wake up with baklava.
I know, right?
How do I get this baklava fairy?
Seriously.
So yeah, as you may have surmised, I was not much of a drinker before I was legal.
Heather's the good one of the two of us.
The good one. Sure.
It's okay. The Body Shot story is coming.
It is. It's not a good story.
It is a good story.
Not for me. I mean, it's not a good story reflecting on me.
I disagree. But anyway.
So, which one am I telling?
I don't know.
Okay, so I
have a list. So
a huge crush on a guy that I worked with. And I had an episode which is a completely different, unrelated story, which I think I will save for another episode of the Button List. But it was bad enough that all the guys I worked with were like,
Julie, they totally do. They take you to some place that has golden in the name. The golden whatever.
Or Denny's.
Or, well, yeah, but in Chicago there's a whole bunch of like Greek hybrid like Denny. They've got like the Denny's menu and the Heroes, and they all have golden in the name. Golden whatever. Golden Apple is one that I always used to go to when we were drunk. But anyway, continue.
So, suffice it to say, there was an incident that and the guys at work, because I worked with almost all guys, because I worked in the computer department, and all my friends there were guys, and they did not want me to repeat this episode ever again by taking the bus home. So I kept being offered rides home, and almost always
it didn't involve a pigeon, did it?
No, it did not. No,
see,
it wasn't that
Julie
one.
knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it was not that story. I've had a lot. I have a lot of bus stories, actually.
You do have a number of bus stories. It's true.
So many I haven't even shared. So
I mean, I don't know. Maybe we should do a bus stories episode.
We could do a bus stories episode, but we've already told half of them.
Well,
but I'm sure I could come up with more because seriously, I have a lot of bus stories.
And I mean, I've also told some of my bus stories, but I feel like this could be a potential.
Oh no, I have so many more bus stories. Oh yeah, okay.
Okay,
yeah, we should do a bus stories.
All right, bus stories. Got it.
So, anyway, where was I? Oh, so
on the bus?
I was not on the bus, actually. I was definitely not on the bus.
Oh, no, you were not taking the bus.
Because I was not taking the bus.
Right.
So my friend Gabe, who I had a definite crush on, that man was hot. He was the one who always drove me home when he was working. And there were other guys who also drove me home when they were working. But Gabe made a point of it, and we would frequently go out for a beer on the way home. So pretty much every time we would go out for a beer on the way home. And it was his birthday. Like 8 months into this. Like, we would just, the two of us would go out for a beer twice a week at least on the way home from work. And it was like 6 or 8 months. And he invited me to his birthday party. And I got to his birthday party, and his birthday party was a bunch of guy friends and also me.
Awesome.
Yeah, and there were, I mean, we were doing a progressive to different bars, and there were, you know, some girls who showed up and, you know, were there and then left. But after the fourth drink that was bought for me by one of Gabe's friends, I started to think, what's going on? And then after like the 6th drink, I was like, I'm the gift, aren't I? I think I'm the gift here. And yeah, we were not dating. I had a huge crush on him, yes, but we were not dating. But his friends were like, man, you hang out with her all the time. So they got both of us drunk, and one of them drove us both to my house.
Wow.
Yes. And I did end up making out with Gabe, which was actually quite awesome.
My question is, how much did he have to drink?
Oh, we did not get to that. There was none of that. We just made out. Like
I said, Heather's the
good one.
She's the good child. I'm the bad child. She's the good child. It's no wonder you're my mother's favorite daughter. Because I was not that circumspect in my 20s. Took me quite a while to learn better.
Yeah. But yeah, it was. And then I never saw him again. I don't even know how he managed that. It was just like he quit the job. I don't even know. It was like magic. But yeah.
All right, Heather, I have a question for you.
Okay, what is it?
Heather, what is the least appropriate place you have ever had sexual intercourse?
Mom? If you were online right now,
go away.
GTFO.
Oh, really, Julie?
Are you also going to answer this question?
I will,
okay.
But you first.
Me first.
Yeah.
Upstairs at a dance event.
Ah. Mine was
on the stairs.
In a bathroom stall at a club.
Yeah, mine was like in the hallway.
Wow. Okay, so I think Heather wins that one.
So apparently, when I'm bad, I'm very
see.
bad.
I know, right? And you have a curl right in the middle of your forehead.
I do.
Okay, I have another question for you, Heather. What is the least appropriate person with whom you have ever had sexual intercourse? Dad, Denise, if you're on this stream, go away. Go away. All parents, go bye-bye.
Parents, brothers, anyone, go away.
Dang, Julie.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
No,
was that, what level of school were you?
Okay, so my answer, we didn't actually have sex.
Oh, my answer does not involve those words.
I mean, I've been inappropriate, but not that inappropriate.
This is actually a funny story that does involve alcohol.
Okay.
But you first.
Okay, so...
Mine is a funny story that involves alcohol. I don't know about Heather's.
So, when I was 25 years old, I had a giant crush on a temp at work. And we talked and talked.
Dang, Julie.
And we decided to go on a date. And in the middle of the date, I found out he was 18. And I definitely still went out on several dates with him. But we never did anything because he ended up getting back together with his girlfriend. But anyway, carry on.
Okay, so.
But he was legal.
All right, so.
It's still hot. Golly.
Broke up with the biscuits guy. Moved to Chicago. Lived there for several years. Moved back to Houston and decided I was going to fully embrace the fact that I was young, financially independent, and not tied to anyone or anything. So one of the things that I truly love is indie rock. And so I started following some bands, one of whom has actually become more mainstream rock, called Blue October. Started out in Houston. So I... Oh wow, there's more stories there. But anyway, that's that. Oh my god,
We have so many episodes.
my 20s. Oh my god, my 20s. I really think one of our episodes should just be called "Oh my god, my 20s" because there are so many things. So went to a. It wasn't actually a Blue October concert, but drove from Houston to Austin because the lead singer of that band was doing a solo concert, and I had a massively huge crush on him. Like, I'm sorry, he's still, like, he's married, he's got kids, but I swear that man could read the grocery list and I would have an orgasm. Like, so hot, so amazing. But, of course, being the, like, even then he was, like, the like, super hot indie, lead singer commodity. And so, and he knew me and he did like me, but there was, like, it was always kind of like a shuffle around because I wasn't quite important enough. So one night after a concert in Austin,
you were?
No, not for him, but for the road manager, who was also really hot. Because so Justin had actually fled from some stalker women. And I was all being sad and disappointed, and the road manager was like, well, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I'm going to get in my car, and I'm going to drive back to Houston. He's like, well, you want to come over to my place? And I was like, sure, I do. So, very disappointing sex twice, because apparently once wasn't enough.
Oh, my.
But the funniest part of this is okay, I'm in my 20s. This is 20 years ago, y'all. So this is before GPS on everybody's phone. So I had followed him from downtown Austin to his house. So I left after 2 instances of disappointing sex and realized that I had no earthly idea where I was.
Oh, no.
Because I was tipsy. We're going to see if this works. Okay, the audio thing is... Yay! Unfroze. Pause it, tipsy. Yeah, so after a night...
If only we could pause it, tipsy.
Right? After a night and 2 instances of disappointing sex, I get to my car. I'm trying to get home to Houston. I realize I have no freaking clue where I am. I'm somewhere in the vicinity of Austin, Texas, but, like, other than that, I literally had to go to a gas station and be like, can you tell me how to get to Houston?
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, that is, I think, the most inappropriate person with whom I have ever had intercourse.
It was a little too much of a story.
It was, I know, Texas is very big. And yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so Heather, you're up.
Okay, how many more stories do we have tonight?
Let's see. I've got one short one, two. That one I did, 3, and
so many stories.
Yeah, I've got at least 4 or 5 more, but I can save some for later.
Okay.
I've got a couple of them are short ones though.
Okay. So. Okay.
A couple more of them are Ren Fair stories.
So one night when I met some of my friends for the first time, Keith and Summer, I did not meet Summer that night, but Keith I met that night, and a lot of other people I'd been talking to online on a chat room for dancers.
And remember chat rooms and message
I know.
boards?
So I was
Yeah.
in Atlanta. Wasn't I? I was in Atlanta. I went to a lot of dance events, okay? So I was in Atlanta, and we were at this like VFW type place or American Legion Hall. I mean, one of those types of places. So there was a really seedy bar downstairs with like wood paneling, and it was, yeah. And the bartender's special that she kept making for us was called Hell If I Know. And I definitely had at least one too many Hell If I Know.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember the end of the event.
You have such a good memory. I feel like it would take a metric ton of alcohol to get you blackout drunk.
So, Hell If I Know is essentially like a Long Island iced tea, as far as I can tell. I don't remember what all it had in it. I think it was rum and bourbon and...
Well, Long Island has like tequila.
Or I don't even know. But it was... I have a notebook somewhere where I had just a little tiny...
Why do I have so many drunk stories, Heather?
I don't know. But at least you had them instead of not knowing them. So, yeah, I have a little tiny notebook somewhere with the recipe for Hell If I Know written by the bartender. If I can ever find it again. I'm positive it's in my possession. Just, I don't know where. And, oh my goodness, I do not remember the rest of that evening.
Yeah, there was definitely...
I danced a lot, but with people who were holding me up.
There was definitely a very memorable...
Are you on the screen lots of times?
What? Oh, because if I'm hovering, this here, if I'm hovering over something, it shows a preview.
Gotcha.
Ooh. I like rum, bourbon, pineapple, grenadine. Bottled beer, not so much. But I do remember, so when I lived in Houston the second time? Anyway, there was a guy who was in the Army, and so he was on his break between basic and deployment. So we all went out drinking, and we were doing 2 types of shorts. 3 wise men and 4 horsemen. Mm. So 3 wise men are Jim, Jack, and Jose. 4 horsemen are Jim, Jack, Jose, and I don't actually remember who the 4th horseman is. But yeah, just suffice it to say, like, don't drink shots that are tequila and bourbon and whiskey. And if you're going to do that, don't do like 4 of them. Just saying. Johnny. Thank you, Julie.
So it's Jim Beam, Jameson, Johnny Walker, and Jack. So there's 2 Johns.
I think in Texas it's Jose instead of Johnny. Okay. Or instead of
one of the Johnnies?
Yeah. Because Say that again. Jameson. It's tequila instead of the Jameson if you're in Texas. Yeah, Jim, Beam, Jack, Julie, you are totally my soul mother. And also, please don't ever tell my father any of this. But yeah. Also, I will say, lessons from my 20s, please, for the love of God, stay away from Jaeger and Lone Star. Because I've definitely actually, like, PSA, like, we do not condone drinking and driving. I've had some truly scary experiences driving when I should not have been after multiple shots of Jaeger. Ooh, well, okay. Julie wants to be...
Duly noted?
Yeah, duly noted.
Duly noted.
Duly noted. But no, but seriously, like, I've made some questionable decisions in my life, and then I've made some bad decisions, and those definitely are some of them. I am very thankful to the universe that I'm still here.
Yes.
Okay, but back to funny stories.
My drinking stories involve someone else driving.
Yeah, no, I'm too much of a control freak for that, and that's actually not a good thing. Amaretto is tasty. Also,
it's so good. I love an amaretto sour. Oh,
I can
have those for like hours.
I love a good whiskey sour too. Yeah, we should do that at some point.
We should. I love sours.
So my college boyfriend, the biscuit one, he decided that he was...
I love that he's biscuit.
He is.
He totally is.
But so he was very pretentious in some ways, and so he decided his drink of choice was Drambuie in college, because how many underage college people drink Drambuie? Not a whole lot. No. So that was, that was his thing. And I do like Drambuie, but he was just very like, oh, well, I don't want that. I want my Drambuie. Anyway, also I did learn in college that even at 114 pounds, it was literally impossible for me to get drunk on wine coolers in college because I would get full before I would get drunk.
That's fair.
So apparently my German native alcohol tolerance was working against me.
Oh, I'm going to tell on my uncle.
Okay, all right. Speaking of drinks, mine is empty, so Heather, go.
Okay. So, my Uncle Jeff is a wonderful human, very handsome man, and definitely not much of a drinker. He will have an occasional one or two. And so he was somewhere in Alabama, and he was working on the roof of his house. And he kept coming inside and grabbing a bottle from the fridge. Hi! And he would go back outside and continue on the roof. And about
on the roof?
Yeah. I mean, where else do you work on the roof?
Well, fine. Is Uncle Jeff still with? Well,
yes, Uncle Jeff just had a knee replacement. He's all right.
Okay.
So he is, coming inside and getting some stuff, and then going back on the roof, and finally comes inside. And it's like, I don't feel so good. I feel like I'm maybe I got heat stroke. I'm a little dizzy. I don't feel right. And he lay down on the sofa. And my Aunt Jan, who was a nurse, she's no longer with us, but unrelated to this story, she, checked him out. She was like, your pulse is really low, and you're definitely a little sweaty, and your heart rate, you don't seem right. She was like, what have you been drinking? And he said, well, there was some sodas in the door of the fridge. And she's like, my wine coolers? So my Uncle Jeff, who is not much of a drinker,
got drunk on Bartles and James?
Got drunk on Bartles and James from the door of the fridge. And he didn't have heat stroke at all. He was just tipsy and did not know. So he was fine. He got a little water and some dinner, and he was good. Because 4 wine coolers are really not gonna.
No.
No. But yeah, your story made me remember.
Yep.
And my Uncle Jeff was also, until his 50s, totally playing, like, pickup basketball with people in their 20s. So, also quite the metabolism. So, yeah. So, carry on.
Okay, so, all right, so, definitely, we're gonna definitely have another, thank you, Kenneth, we're gonna have another one of these, because I'm not even, there are so many.
I keep thinking of more. I've got, like, a backlog now.
So, okay, so, why don't we do one, do you want to do one more each or two more each?
One more each.
One more each, okay. So, I'm gonna go with the Chicago snowstorm, because this is a story where everybody gets completely batshit drunk and nothing bad happens to anyone. So I think that's a good way to end my stories. So I had decided I was going to move away from Chicago. I didn't like the cold. I didn't like being that close to my mother. I wasn't having a lot of success with my dance career, and cost of living was a lot cheaper in Houston, where I had a lot of friends in the support system. So, so I had put in my notice at my job at the bead store. I was, getting ready to move. So, at the bead store, I had two really good friends, Chrissy and Indrani, and we were kind of like a, really tight-knit little group. And so we all went out a few days before my departure date to have a farewell party. And so we went out bar hopping, and we went to several bars, and we got utterly wasted, and none of us were driving. We planned on, taking a cab home or taking the L or whatever. So while we're getting blitzed, it starts to snow, and it keeps snowing, and it keeps snowing, to the point where cabs stop running in Chicago. And those of you who are familiar with wintry places know that that's a fucking insane snowstorm if cabs aren't running. So cabs aren't running, and so our only option is the L. And we were all gonna sleep at, no, not 88. No, it would have been like 05. It wasn't an epic snowstorm. It was just big enough to stop cabs from running. So then we're stuck with the L, which is fine. No problem. So it's 2 a.m. and cabs aren't running. So now you have, and nobody's driving on the streets because it's snowing like crazy. So now all of a sudden you have this like mass exodus of just drunken people from the bars who are all like weaving their way to the L, and everyone was like happy drunks. So it was just this like, weird whirly, like we're all gonna just, shuffle our way to the L. So then we get on the L, and we get to the closest stop to my friend Chrissy's house, and we had already decided we're all spending, because we're gonna get drunk, so we're all gonna spend the night at Chrissy's, and then we're going to take our hungover asses home in the morning. But Chrissy lived a solid, 6 or 7 block walk from the L. So like, we weave our way to the L with all, the happy, hippie, drunk people. And literally, seriously, Julie's not wrong. Kind of bouncing off of others in a happy way. And so we get on the L, and we sway our way back to the stop. So then we're walking from the L to Chrissy's place, and so now there's not a crowd because we're not in the main bar area. Now we're in her neighborhood, and then all of a sudden, so we're walking, and then in the middle of the street, Chrissy just turns and flops down, and she's like, "I want to make a snow angel." And so she starts making a snow angel in the middle of the freaking road. And Indrani's like, "That's amazing." And so Indrani plops herself down and starts making snow angels. Meanwhile, I'm like, guys, you're in the middle of the road. And they're like, stop being such a pain in the ass. And so I flop down and make a snow angel in the middle of the road as well. We did actually, after snow angels, stagger our way safely to Chrissy's house, collapsed on the floor, woke up hung over AF the next day. Because I'm pretty sure there were some other people buying us drinks as well. But yeah, that's my best like community drunkenness story.
That's fun.
Think because it's like everything was good, nobody was hurt. As far as I know, like everyone in my group got home safe. Like we were all like, you know, colliding with each other, but nobody died. So that I think is one of my top tier, like just being completely drunk in public stories. So that's the end of my part. Heather's got one more story, and then we're gonna make you all vote. All right, Heather.
Okay, so is this the one?
This is your last one. It can be whichever one you want it to be.
Okay, so this is how I met my ex-fiance. So, I was at yet another dance event, and we were at a bar in Austin at the after hours party. I was not a DJ at that point, so I was definitely not one of the VIPs. I was just a dancer. And so I was there, and it was not like they had a private room, but it was not a very big private room because it was the after hours party on Sunday night. So a lot of people had left already to drive back home or to sleep so they could drive back home the next day or to fly or whatever. But I'm in the corner of the room where the bar is, doing body shots. So,
told you she's the bad one.
when did you say that? I've been the good one up until now. So, body shots, for those of you who are not familiar, involve tequila and salt and lime. And the salt can be pretty much wherever you want to lick it off. And so I'm there, and I, at that point, was definitely very well known for my caboose.
I think that's a swing.
Yeah, the swing on my back
your back porch.
So,
goodness, Julie, I had no idea.
So I'm actually next in line for a mutual friend of ours, which is the funniest part of the story. Not Jello shots, tequila shots.
No, tequila shots.
So I am next in line for a mutual friend of ours who unfortunately has never gotten to take his shot. So I still owe him a shot. And his spot was usurped by another guy from Dallas at the time, who now lives in Austin and is married to not me. Spoiler alert. So I said, where would you like to take your shot? And he said, left cheek. And I was like, okay. And he's like, not that one. So at some point in my life, I may have been on a bar in Austin with...
Oh, I have a good Austin story that I am actually going to close out with. It's not going to be part of the voting because it's not really applicable, but it's a really good story.
So he definitely took a body shot with the salt off parts that were not supposed to be seen by the general public, but they were, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mm.
And then after that, we introduced ourselves to each other and made out for like an hour. And then both of us had enough shots that neither one of us really could remember who the other one was. So he worked really hard to find me and hunt me down in California because he wanted to see me again. So he did manage to do that and managed to not only see me, but nothing burned. No, because it was salt. It was not the tequila itself. It was the salt. And honestly, at that point, after that much dancing, I was probably pretty salty as it was.
Fair.
So, yeah, he eventually found me and asked me, oh my.
And nobody cares.
And
not about you, about what my computer's doing.
To move to Dallas. And after I moved to Dallas, he asked me to marry him. And then that didn't work out. But anyway, that's how I met my ex-fiance in a way that our children could never have known. Ever, 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 ever.
Okay, so I'm going to tell another good Austin story. Heather, I would like you to pick your 3 stories that you want to put up for voting for who wins tonight's broadcast. But okay, so once again, in this period of my life where I had gone to Chicago, come back to Dallas, and was celebrating my youth, my independence, the fact that I could afford to go, drive to Austin, see a show. I had enough energy to do that. I definitely don't anymore. But so my dear friend at the time and I went to see a Blue October show again in Austin. And so we saw the show, and then after the show, and some of you may know the band Yellow Card. They opened for Blue October at that show. Or maybe Blue October opened for them. I don't know. I'm old, so it could be either one or the other. But anyway, we saw Blue October, we saw Yellow Card, and then everyone was like, hey, we're going to go drink at this bar on 6th Street. So, okay. This time, we're both of age, like we're, completely, yeah. So we go to the bar, and we're kind of hanging out, and we're doing that, like, anybody who's in the indie rock scene, like, maybe familiar with this, where you're like, I'm hanging out, I'm trying to look cool, and not like I'm trying to, like, get all up on the band, but kind of I'm wanting to get all up on the band, but I want to look cool, and like it's a whole thing. Again, do not have enough energy for that now, but I was in my 20s. So we went up, we actually get a table, and I think the band's manager, Blue October's manager was knew us, and so we asked him to get us some drinks, some Jaegers, and this and that. And so this person, right? Seriously, Prince, like, So this person comes up, this person who happens to be the lead singer of Yellow Card, and has the exact drinks we'd asked for, which was, I think, 2 Jaegers and 2 Lone Stars, puts them down on the table that we have claimed, and we go to reach for them, and he's like, oh no, those are mine. And we're like, oh, we're so sorry. Like, we just sent somebody to get 2 Jaegers and 2 Lone Stars. Like, we thought these were ours. He's like, oh no, these aren't yours. These are mine. And he grabs them back and takes them over to these 2 girls who I swear on my freaking life were like 16 years old. So whatever. We're like, okay, you're an asshole. You're the lead singer of a, popular band, but you're also trying to get underage girls drunk, probably so they will suck your dick. So whatever. But then my friend gets drunk, drunk. And so 6th Street in Austin, they tend to close the street because everyone just goes to the bars, gets drunk, and then at 2 a.m., like, everyone just, once again, back to, like, a producer, everyone's just, like, drunkenly wandering the street. So they tend to close the street. So it's 2 a.m., it's bar time. We've got nowhere to stay. My friend hooks up with this dude at the jukebox, and that's a whole other story that I will tell another day. But we're outside the bar waiting for jukebox dude to tell us where he's staying so that we can go back to his hotel room and my friend can sleep with him and I can, like, plug my ears and sleep on the floor. And she sees the lead singer of Yellowcard, the one who snatched up the Jaegers and Lone Stars. And at the top of her freaking lungs, she's like, that guy right there, he's a douche. You're a douche. Like, with the finger and everything. And of course, this semi-famous guy is like, what the actual hell is happening? Like, I'm in Austin, Texas, and this girl is shouting at me and calling me a douche. So, fast forward to the next day. I'm not going to talk about what happened that night, but the next day we're driving to Dallas. We're in my car, we're driving back to Dallas, and she's like, I had the weirdest dream. Like, oh, really? Did you? Like, what was it about? I had this weirdest dream that this lead singer of Yellowcard was looking at me and he was angry at me. And I'm like, that's not a dream. He was angry at you because you pointed at him and shouted to the entirety of 6th Street that he was a douche. She's like, oh, really? Yeah, you did that. So that's my best, like, drunken Austin story. Okay, so I would like to put forth, since it's 9 o'clock and Heather and I need to go to bed, my 3 stories for voting. He was a douche. I'm not gonna, like, but that one involves a famous person, so I'm not gonna put that one up for consideration. My 3 stories are the first time I got drunk when I was 8 years old, the Chicago Snow Angels drunken incident, or the worst person I could possibly have had sex with. Those are my 3 stories, okay, that you can vote for. Heather, what are your 3 stories you're putting up for consideration?
The accidental daiquiris.
Okay.
The I'm the birthday present, and the future ex-fiance.
Okay, so vote, please. So you have 6 choices. You can pick one for the best story of tonight's broadcast. Just a recap. So we've got Heather's how she met her ex-fiance, body shots. That definitely has a vote from Julie. Heather being the birthday present, and Heather getting accidentally drunk as a young child. We also have me getting accidentally / purposefully drunk as a young child, Chicago Snow Angels, and the worst person I've ever had sex with. So, vote. Currently, we've got 1 vote, and Heather's winning. The one she didn't remember.
Oh, well, there's also that.
Okay, well.
He's not here.
All right, body shots. Heather, you've got 3 votes. You're smoking my ass.
Woo!
Heather's had such a more exciting life than me, y'all.
No.
Also, we do need to, and Corvus is not on, but please remind me, we need some kind of a leaderboard so we can keep track of who's won how many times.
Yes.
Because I won last time, but you've definitely won this time. So
far.
Well, you've got 3 votes and I've got 0 votes, and it's 9:05, so I'm also tired.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like, because
I'm tired.
I'm tired. Well, I'm tired of telling stories of when I was in my 20s and had energy.
I know, it's really.
I know, right? Like, seriously, like, how did we do that? Like, I would work. Okay, my story gets second place.
Yes.
Thank you. But like seriously, like I would rehearse, and then I would work, and then I would go out, and I would sleep for like 3 hours, and I would start the whole process again. And I have no freaking clue how I did that, because at this point, I'm just like, I would die. I would be dead.
At least 8 times a week.
I know. Well, we used to go out dancing every Wednesday.
We did. We did.
That.
Yeah.
Like
back when I was okay with seeing certain people.
Well, right, but ugh.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we have a winner. We have Heather. Heather Human is the winner of tonight's stream. Wait, where's your tiara? What did Dennis do with it?
Oh, here it is. Oh,
okay,
here's my tiara.
Heather is the queen of tonight's stream. She wins. So, yay! All right, so Heather wins tonight. We are going to peace out, y'all, because we're tired. So we will be back on this channel, twitch.tv/Beading Dream tomorrow night. I will be. We will be. Sale.
Yes, sale tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'm on again.
You are. So this is the first week of our new streaming schedule. That means we're going to be doing a sale. Oh, goodness.
Thank you for joining us, Prince.
I'm about to have the hiccups. But yes,
Uh-oh.
So tomorrow night's going to be a sale. Friday's going to be fire. Saturday's going to be social. Heather is the winner of tonight's stream. So thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We really, really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Join our Discord if you haven't already. And if you need the link for that, that's !Discord in the... in the chat, and we love each and every one of you. Mwah, love you, Julie. And tomorrow night, sale at 6:30 p.m. Okay, so everyone have a great night, and Heather and I will see you back on this channel, twitch.tv/Beading Dream tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Everyone have a good one. Finger hurts. All right, everyone have a good one, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
Mute.